Dear friends, in this session, we are going to discuss the concept of SWOT analysis on the same software where we have developed various models of economic development, Sanatan Ganit, and whatnot. So, this is an attempt to present you all how SWOT analysis also possible through this software, and then how we can assign values to various factors of production which assist any attempt of the management in making not only product successful but the producer as a whole. SWOT, S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats likely to come. It means all these four analysis how it can be done on this software. That is what is the objective of today's session. Any person, any employee can do this analysis before starting it or intervening period when we find that it's the time we must do a retrospective analysis of previous challenges or threats likely to emerge in the near future. If we are making the plan to expand the business, in that case also, this kind of analysis becomes very important for the management to know where we stand today and where we want to reach at the position of additional strength. It can be in terms of market share because every producer wants his product should reach maximum number of consumers, and it should be geographically well spread not only within the country, but if there are opportunities for export, then if the government is also promoting any attempt to make export, then how a producer can exploit the opportunities available in the countries where the product can be exported and be liked by the consumer of that country. But before that, I am going to discuss about the strength. Any producer has to first analyze what are those factors which have contributed to the strength of not only company, because company derives its strength by selling its product. So we have a number of factors which contribute to the strength of the company and the product he is making. It can be available of financial resources, because if you have enough financial resources, in that case a company can indulge in not only product promotion but product development and various other factors. Similarly, the man means if you have skilled, efficient, and productive manpower that is engaged in the process of production, then we can rely on these manpower and can not only keep on producing but also contributing to cost cutting and many other objectives of any company. Similarly, it's a management also. Management means the management should be supportive, management should be far-sighted, and managers should always be conscious that it is not only ready to stimulate the production, but how to engage in market expansion, because the person who is engaged on the shop floor it is not capable of that. But the management should be efficient enough, well experienced, because there are many cases where a very efficient manager or any member of the team, core team that manages the company, if he resigns, in that case, the company suffers a huge loss. Similarly, there should be a good technology support because nowadays new technologies are emerging everywhere and causing huge upheaval in the market. So, management should be conscious enough to keep on watching what kind of technologies are developing all around the company and can it affect the present level of production and the market it has occupied by untiring effort made by the company and invested huge resources in that attempt. Similarly, a producer has to keep on watching that their product is under supervision of government, because government may anytime impose various regulations. It can be in case of market share, if it is too much market share occupied and monopolistic tendencies emerge. In that case, the government can, in America, recently we have seen that there the trust law is very tough. No government likes that a company should occupy more of the market share. So the company has to relent in that case to allow the competition to grow, and these kind of restrictions and various others, like there is a, if the product is causing pollution, everybody is very conscious that a product should not be causing pollution because global warming is a major threat. So there can be those conditions also, and there are various geopolitical issues also involved in a case of analyzing the strength, because anytime this strength can turn into weakness, like a raging war like situation can cause disruption in the supply chain, and if the company is dependent on import from that region, in that case the strength can also turn into weakness. So there are various factors, and these factors are applicable to all other four. What I mean to say, not only the strength, but remaining three, like weakness, threat, and opportunities. So, all these four factors have to be analyzed in the light of the factors I have just emphasized here in case of strength, because strength can anytime present opportunities, but opportunities are dependent on the strength, weakness, and threats also. A producer cannot be ready to analyze the income it is deriving because of the strength only. The situation can be under threat for the company or the producer that now the situation is likely to be changed because of a new technology. Now, if I emphasize here that if right now a company is using X material, tomorrow there can be invention or discovery of a new type of material which is not only for cheap but easy to produce also at the lower cost, and that technology is not available to the company. So in that case the whole scenario of competition will change. So what I mean to say, that anytime these factors of strength can turn into a weakness also, and thereby reducing the opportunity part of it and can rather be analyzed in light of the threat. So the SWOT analysis is always dependent not only on one of the element of SWOT, but other three elements are always present to be associated along with the analysis of SWOT on one factor only. Three dimension view or say perspective of analysis should always be there, not only on one factor, but the remaining part of the three, how the shadow is being caused on the element of one of the sort factor is going to affect in the near future. What I have not given you the examples. Like once a time, the ITC, Indian Tobacco Company, was a sort of in the position of strength. Even today, by product innovation and different brands they have introduced, because when I was young at that time, Capstan and Dunhill, etc., brand names were popular, but ITC over the time have developed various cigarette consuming population with the brand of Wills Navy Cut, Flake, and for higher consumers, Classic. And in these also, when we move to the upper side, they have light, means less nicotine containing cigarettes, and thus they have a now chain of various brands having different price tag and nicotine content to satisfy the demand of a consumer, whether in the middle income range or higher range of income. But company was also conscious that due to restrictions of the government, because government is not promoting the consumption of cigarettes, therefore they have increased the excise duty or GST, and therefore the cost to the consumer is now quite heavy. Now there are health factors also, because cigarettes cause cancer and the government has made it mandatory to show the effect of smoking on each pack of cigarette. Therefore, these kind of restrictions restricted company to limit itself in the manufacturing and trade of tobacco based products, and they immediately planned into construction of hotels, luxury hotels. So now the ITC company, whatever financial resources they had, they have invested in the most promising area of tourism, that is hotels, because there's a huge potential for Indian market, where they are now the foreign tourists and rich Indian tourists also flocking to those areas which are known to have tourism potential. And company has now similar other products also in range, where they offer healthy ready to eat products also, and they have now a number of products available to the consumers for the additional range of what I say, the products that can be consumed by the consumers. Similarly, I have also seen the fate of Bata company. Bata was once the most promising shoe footwear market, was dominated by the Tata only. But now there are so many other shoemaker companies, and they offer the same kind of product at a much cheaper rate. because the material which was used earlier, that was leather only. Now there are a very different kind of material available for the making of footwear, and this material is not only cheaper but it lasts longer as well. Therefore now the expensive shoes footwear manufactured by the Tata company are, one can say, is limited to very high income consumers, because they are also being produced but at a much higher cost, and the demand is very limited for these kind of, in a country like India where the consumers are very cost conscious, because it's predominantly a middle class society, and middle class society is very cost conscious. They will shift immediately to the cheaper alternative, and will stop wearing those models where the cost is higher. So now synthetic shoe wear is what mostly are wearing today. Leather products are reserved for the higher level, income level consumers only. So there are various examples of, if the company is not conscious about it, in that case the product range it used to offer before, the cost of now producing those expensive shoes is too much, and their demand is at a very reduced level. If I start quoting all these examples, there are a number of other examples also. But in case of radios and technologies, earlier there was only one or say two producers of radio, transistor, etc. That was, one was the Murphy, another one was the Philips. Only two producers. But now the name of Murphy, I think the new generation even will not know what the Murphy stands for and what kind of product it was offering before. Similarly, I can quote number of examples where the availability of substitute has caused a vast difference in the consumption pattern of consumers. It is all because of the fact that SWOT analysis was not being done by them, and what kind of threats, weaknesses. Earlier they were in the, say, dominant position because they were only two suppliers of transistors, Murphy and Philips. But now Philips is a has shifted into high tech. Their transistor or mobile or any other electronic gadgets for consumers is not there at all, because the cheaper and more cost efficient technologies developed by Japan and Taiwan, etc., they have eliminated the market of Philips and Murphy. Murphy died long before, and Philips has changed its product base to other product. I don't know what kind of products, because at least consumer products are not there at all. Similarly, earlier the Motorola mobiles were quite in demand. They were almost not heard in case of smartphone, but they have now made a entry, and they are now marketing with advanced technologies. So it means that in between they did not do the SWOT analysis quite effectively, and they were not able to compete with the Japanese mobile maker or Taiwanese mobile makers. So therefore, they must have suffered quite a huge share of market they earlier used to have, and any reduction in the market share of the product causes financial strain for the producer of that time. What I mean to say, today the SWOT analysis has to be done very carefully. Now, this software is dependent on the kind of value you assign to various factors. I have listed almost nine causes which affect the SWOT analysis. And in the beginning, I have listed that out. But one must observe that company is dependent on the value you attach to it. You have to assign certain value because the four corners which represent these four elements of SWOT factors can be there, but whether you give higher weightage to finance, management, technology, market share, innovation, and similar other factors which I have analyzed earlier, that is dependent on the person who is doing the SWOT analysis. He is independent to do it, whatever value he produces, but he should be unbiased. His mind should not be to favor consciously that this factor is more important for me and this factor is not important for me. In that case, the personal bias will also cause the bias in the result because it's the computer program which is dependent on the kind of input you are putting in number of figures. So till a uniform weightage system is developed for SWOT analysis, one has to contend because there are many complaints to me that how you have assigned this value and how not this, because they think that this factor is more important than the one I have used to show on my analysis of economy and other elements like 5M, etc. So I am not going to, because I am not in a position to influence the decisions of other authorities or person who is doing any analysis based on the model of economathematics. It is his choice. Everybody is free to interpret because ultimate beneficiary are those who are using unbiased input. If you deliberately use a very different kind of system, in that case, I am sorry, the computer will show the analysis part of it, and that is dependent on the kind of input you are putting in. If there is a garbage, your result will also be a garbage. So ultimate sufferer will be the person who is using it. Rather than you can't blame the software for that purpose. Therefore, one has to be very conscious about it. If there are other doubts and I am providing a user guide for each one of these models, but there is no guide to bias or ignorance. Any user guide is only useful if you understand the basic objective of this software. It is a tool of analyzing various factors of economy and for the management also, and those who are also want to pursue a spiritual life. For them also it is important because I have done that kind of analysis, and I have also done the analysis of atomic theory also for it with a very different objective in mind that this software is capable of doing analysis, but there should also be a understanding that computer program has its own, it can give you mathematical result and unbiased result, but if you are biased ab initio or by starting using the software with a biased mind, then I can't help it. So for this session I request you all the viewers to use it for SWOT analysis. Any person, any employee, any professional or management consultant can start using the SWOT because they are ultimately doing for their clients this kind of analysis. But if with mathematical conclusions they present their case to the management, then it will be a very useful tool for them. For students also, because every student in the management, he has to cover these areas of management control Management control is the ultimate objective of any student pursuing the study and doing the research in the field of management. Therefore, I invite all those viewers who are interested in SWOT analysis by a mathematical program to help them in achieving the target they are pursuing. That's the management control. Because tomorrow they are going to manage the company as a managing director or a very senior executive in that company. So you should always be ready to absorb new technologies or new ways and means of management control. Wish you all the luck. Thank you.